Hey, what's up, social media world? It's me, Chris, your favorite coach. I'm so excited to be here with my favorite coach, Paul Finck, the one and only, the Maverick Millionaire. Now, if you don't know this guy, you need to know him. So if you know me, you know how I feel about people. And I would say Paul and I are cut from the same cloth. That should cut out a lot of the intro. So I mean, Paul's done everything. I mean, you've worked in the medical world, the real estate world. You've learned so much, and then you decided somewhat 15 years ago that you decided you wanted to share your passion for growth and people and business development with the rest of the world, and you created what we now know as the Maverick universe. So without further ado, my coach, Paul Finck. Yay!
Woo! Thank you so much, Chris. It's a real honor to be here. We have fast become good friends and associates and doing so many things together at so many different levels. Just a real pleasure to be here.
Yeah, thanks for coming, man. I really appreciate it. And what a great conversation we had last night. We always have, and I appreciate our sessions. And it's nice to be working with you guys. And look, my first experience was, we connected on LinkedIn. I flew into Vegas. We spent some time together, and what a great time we had. And I'm so excited to announce, me coming from the Northeast, I'm in Florida now. In New York, now we have at the Meadowlands coming up, we do have a Maverick Success Live event coming up. For you guys to participate in. And I'm going to share a link with you. And there might be a few of you that I might be able to get in without you having to pay. I might have some comps with your name on it, but message me for that. It's for special people. But Paul, tell us a little bit about what you got going on in the Maverick universe and about what these folks could expect from Maverick Success Live coming up in New Jersey and then Orlando in spring.
Hi, guys. Man, with everything that we do, the focus is how to create the best life possible. I got started back 35 years ago being an entrepreneur, always earning my keep, being paid my value, and creating the life that I wanted. One of the most interesting components about what happens in our internal brain is that we perceive things only within a certain scope. We perceive things only within a certain framework of who we are, what we've experienced, what we've seen, what we've brought into our world, who we hang out with. There's only a certain scope of what we can acknowledge and understand. At the time, I had been in the medical field, I had been in the dental field, created distribution channels, created Salesforce, created different companies of different models in those arenas. And man, I thought I had it. I thought I was set. I thought, man, I was all there in a slice of cheese. And then I got a glimpse of what the rest of the story could be. I got a glimpse of hanging out with some real just mega players, centimillionaires, people that were just doing just incredible things on a worldwide basis while I was working in a microcosm of my backyard, and recognized there was so much more, and started recognizing that I had been playing small. I had been playing within a framework of what I thought was great, and yet not really recognizing that there was so much more out there. And that was about 20 years ago. And the time frame is significant because it was also the same time frame that my last children were born. And I've got multiple. I've got 6 children, 3 sets of twins. And I put that in there, and everyone goes, "Oh, wow. It is what it is. I've got some amazing children, and we created this amazing life." But at the time, I was like, oh my gosh, I've got 6 kids, 3 sets of twins, 6 kids under 6 years old. I better get busy. And I started looking around as to what was possible, what I could do more in my life, where I could go. And man, I started then recognizing that there was more. There was more in here for me to give. There was more for me to imagine. And there was a whole nother level of play to be engaging with. And like I said, that was 20 years ago. I got into real estate, got into really understanding financial wealth building. And now 20 years later, I've been coaching and training on this for about 15 years out of the 20, all around the world and helping people step up, helping people step into their fullest potential, really grab hold of what is possible for them, and helping them envision that next step in their world. I used to think I had it all, and then I realized that was just a fraction of what I could have in my life. And
At
so
some
now
point,
we
at some point, it
travel all
becomes
over the
like,
place.
you'll never have it all, right?
You'll never have it all.
And that's not exciting, and that's how we live.
And some people look at that like, oh my gosh, well, what's the point?
Uh-huh.
And the point is that for me, I'm living to reach my fullest potential, which you never will do. Your potential in the world, your potential as a human is so amazing, so great. It far reaches anything that we could possibly imagine. And yet the strive, the journey is so great. And so I keep looking for that. And every time you'll climb and you'll get to a plateau. You'll get to this point where you go, yeah, things are going well. I'm doing it. And then you'll realize that there's a whole nother level to go to, a whole nother place to get to. And so everything that we do is about that core, helping you reach your fullest potential, helping you create the vision of what's next, and then showing you the pathway to get there.
That's it. There's so many things in there, right? We go through these evolutions in life where we're like, we can't wait till we get to this certain point, and then we get to that point, and then something happens that we never expected in the land of we don't know, and it just goes boom. So, and I mean, you and I share this where we it's become about the journey, not the destination, and just being so excited and curious about, man, what else do I not know? How far can this thing go? How deep does the rabbit hole go? And I think it's, what do you recommend for people that kind of are just dipping their toe in that, or kind of know that there's something else? What steps could they take to kind of arrive at this place?
You've got to step out of your comfort zone. You see, one of the biggest challenges is, and we know this, like, it's uncomfortable to step out of our habits, our behaviors. And yet when we do, we recognize we experience something entirely different. It's as simple as go out of your driveway and turn left instead of right. Go out of your driveway, take a different path to the store today. And when you do that, you're going to see new things. You're going to see new buildings that you didn't know were constructed. You're going to really see the mountaintop or the horizon in a different way. You're going to experience it very different, even when it's only a couple blocks out of the way. Things will appear differently to you. Well, that's the same thing with everything in our life. So we've got to do things different than we've done. Look to experience something different, change up our routine. Part of that is changing up the people we're hanging out with. All too often we get into a routine where we're hanging out with the same people, doing the same thing day after day, week after week, month after month, year after year, decade after decade. Hanging out with different people, and then when you're going to hang out with different people, may as well change it to specific people. Really decide who are the people I want to hang out with. And the way you decide is to say, who do I want to be? You see, the challenge is we hang out with the people that we are. And so like-minded, birds of a feather flock together. What you really want to be focused in on, you want to shift, you want to change, you want something greater in your world, hang out with people that are the people you want to be. And then you'll be able to stretch and grow to where they're playing, what they're doing. And so when I was going through this transition, I started hanging out with, I was making about $100,000 a year, and recognized I wanted to make multi-hundred into millions. I started hanging out with millionaires and multi-millionaires and even some billionaires, and went, wow, holy cow, my brain got rewired.
I love that you rubbing shoulders with Richard Branson and stuff. And it's so funny because, you know, where it's almost like I'm not economically driven, but then all of a sudden you realize what you can do, like what's possible. And so that's why this concept of the Maverick Millionaire, Mavericks do things different, not differently, right? Because normal people say differently, so we're going to say different. I like how Angela Kershak says nothing changes if nothing changes. And that's, it sounds redundant, but it's true, right? Nothing changes if nothing changes.
Yeah, you've got to change things up. I started hanging out with multimillionaires. You mentioned Richard Branson, and I mentioned money, and people mistake that then you become money driven. No,
it's not. It just happens.
Recognize that when you want to build a house, right? So here I want to build something. I want to build something great. I want to build something I'm going to live in. I want to build something that's going to shelter my family. Well, that is very much heartfelt, and that structure is important for certain things that you want to do. Only when you go to do it and you don't have a hammer, you may be challenged. So you want to go out and make sure that you've got a hammer to be able to do what you want to do to create the greatness of your house. That's money.
That's right.
When you have the tool and you have abundance in it, you can do abundance in your life, because it's not about the amount of dollars in your bank account. It's how you spend it, how you enjoy it, and how you create magic, just that lifestyle in your world.
Yeah.
My wife and I travel continuously. My wife and I and my children travel continuously, and it's where we spend a lot of our money. We love travel. We also spend it on opportunity. We spend it on my children's futures. I paid for all their college funds, for instance, made sure that they were able to graduate from college totally debt free. It's those components where money really bought them a lifestyle and bought us a lifestyle that I cherish. It's not about, I don't have a Lamborghini in my driveway. I could care less about cars. I'm not a car guy. So that's not where I spend my money, nor do I care about it. It's about what it can do for you. And it's the opportunity. It's the freedom. You know, with the lockdowns and all the challenges we had over the last couple of years, I was okay. I didn't have to stress or worry. I knew no matter what, my family, my children, we were all going to be absolutely fine. That's freedom.
Freedom is the ultimate goal, isn't it? It's I mean, I just had a session earlier and I was telling everybody about our choices, and the last freedom that anyone can ever take from you is the decision to decide, your freedom of choice. And it's so important, you know. So we kind of pose to people, you know, like Angela was saying before, nothing changes if nothing changes. It's what are you going to choose to do different that's going to have an impact on your life, your world. So there's no reason for you to be unhappy or be depressed, or right. So look, and I understand that there's things that happen, but it's when we get, like you said, hanging out with the same people, getting stuck in these same things. Our routines can help us tremendously, or they can be a tremendous detriment to us. You know, just waking up earlier, changing a morning routine, making little small decisions. They don't have to be these big quantum leap decisions, right? It can be little tiny decisions you make that have a huge impact over time. One of those decisions, look, you decide to do something for yourself. You decide to hang out with different people. Look, decide to go to an event like Maverick Success Live. Oh, I've never done that before. I know you've never done it before, right? And it's frustrating as a coach when you talk to people, tell me something new, coach. What are the strategies? And you're like, well, here are some strategies. No, I never did that before. And I'm like, I know you never did that before, right? So what are we talking about here?
Yeah, you actually have two as a coach. And Chris and I talk a lot about what it means to be a coach and how to help people and experience that space, if you will. And one of the interesting things with the people that show up, as you coach them, you'll end up with two different camps. It's the camp that I've never done that before. That's just crazy.
Or I know all that already.
Right. Step into it, do it anyway. Trust the process. Don't ask why, just do and watch the results you'll get. There's the second camp The second camp that says, "Oh, I know that. Come on, you're my coach. Give me something that's new. Are you doing what I already said?" They go,
Yeah.
no, but that no, but I've known that. I've heard that years ago. I was like, yeah, apply it.
Yeah. I know you know that. Are you doing it? And a lot of people don't realize training is how and where, right? How do I do that? Where do I go? Coaching is just like, you know what to do. What are you going to do? When are you going to do it by? The what and the when. And then I like to make that distinction. That's why personal trainers work. We all know how to exercise. We can read the
Right.
instructions at the gym. Like we know what to do. But when you got somebody there, like, this is what you're going to do. You're going to do it by this. And this is how many you're doing. It makes a difference.
Right. Get up and walk. It really helps. The it's fascinating because they'll resist so much of what I say. Simply just do this, and they're like, but that's so simple. There's got to be something more. I was like, not necessarily. Go through the steps, go through the process. The challenge is, I have two people that end up two major challenges. People either don't know what to do, right? They don't know the how. So when you don't know the how, come and that's what we talk about in the Maverick Success Live. We get into the details of really how do you go from here to there? How do you shift your mindset, shift your behavior, shift your habits, shift your thoughts and beliefs to create more results in your life, both more passionate relationships, more connection, more connectivity, networking, and more.
Yes.
The other people, they know how to do it, but they cannot get themselves to persistently do it day in and day out.
Yeah. That's over
And
time.
that's the rest of the people. And sometimes it's that second camp that is the hardest to coach, because they say, oh, I've got this, I know this, and I do it, but they do it today, they forget tomorrow and Thursday, or Saturday and Sunday, or Monday, and then they'll do it again next Friday. And that inconsistency shows up in your results. And when we want to make momentum, when we want to create movement, the tire can't just move a quarter of a cycle and then stop, and then 5 minutes later move another quarter of a cycle, stop. You build momentum by having it moving at a consistent, persistent pace every second. That's life. And when we get into the habit and behavior of doing that, that's where the abundance comes from.
Yeah.
And people go, oh, that seems like a lot of work.
Yeah. It's only a lot of work up front. People don't realize that discipline is only required in the beginning, then habit takes over. We don't realize that what we do and how we operate most of the day is based on habit, which doesn't require a lot of battery, right? So if you were a cell phone, having the discipline, that's you're streaming to the internet. You're using a lot of battery, but habit, it's just running background apps. It's just automatic. And so we want to get to that point. With our bad ones, we want to get rid of those, and we want to have good habits. And it takes discipline to get there. It's one thing I love about the Maverick approach, which is something that we share. That's why we connected. And, Angela said, get down to the nitty gritty. Enjoy the journey. The joy is the journey. Just stop doing things that you hate. So sometimes people say, I got to lose this weight. They feel they dread it. They dread building their business, doing things they dislike. So
right.
I like the Maverick approach because consider the possibility that you can have fun on the journey before you arrive. When you're broke and building your business, consider that as a possibility, that you don't have to hate it going out there knocking on doors. Consider that you're going to one day look back at the people that hung up the phone on you or slammed the door in your face, but you stuck to your vision and your goal, and it's enjoying the journey. So, I mean, man, I'm all about doing stuff you love, and that's the Maverick approach, is it? Because we've learned so many things. It's got to be tough. It's got to be hard.
Right. So there's a couple components on that. One is that you can create a lifestyle where most of what you're doing is complete passion and love. And so you can move into that and step into that. There's also a component of, well, what was the song? Be with the one you love and love the one you're with.
Sure.
How does that relate? Everything you do, love it the moment you're doing it.
Choose.
And I give this example. If and we've all been there. Have you ever done yard work or maybe, housework or really doing some major project that you're going to be doing all day? And there are times when, man, it is drudgery. It sucks. You're out there in the sweat, the hot, you're doing yard work, your muscles ache. It's just you're getting dirty, grimy, sweaty, painful, exhausted, and you've got to be there all day. Then there are other days where you're out there and you just have a blast with it. Maybe the music is playing and you're just bopping around, and it is one of the most enjoyable days you've had in a long time. What made the difference? You were doing the same thing. And we all have had that experience. What makes the difference? Think of any drudgery thing you've ever done and think of another time when you did the exact same thing and it was fun.
It's human experience. We've all had those moments, right? So it's like, what makes the difference? It's what you're choosing, your mindset, your perspective of it. And it just goes back to your freedom to choose and decide what you're going to make of it, right? So
I talk about my children are some of my best testimonials. Now my youngest children are 20 years old. I have two 20-year-olds, two 21-year-olds.
Got 3 sets of twins, by the way.
2 26-year-olds. Yes. So one of my sons, one of my proudest moments, if you will, and it sounds so inane, but one of my proudest moments is when at the time he was 16, 17, maybe it was 16, and he got the employee of the month at Chick-fil-A. Now, why is that so profound? Here's a guy, smart, going to college, went to a top college, straight A student, captain of the track team. This is a guy absolutely committed to achievement orientation, knows what he wants in life, and knows working at Chick-fil-A for, $10 an hour, it was not his future. And yet he did it with joy in his heart, with passion, and made sure that he was the best, table washer in the place. That is what we're talking about.
It's who you are. That overflows to everything you do. It doesn't matter if it's a $10 an hour job. I remember being part of a volunteer group, and I was they were asking me for help, and I was making suggestions. And they were like, Chris, you can't expect a bunch of volunteers to work like this. And I was like, why can't I?
Of course you can.
Yeah, of course you can.
It was amazing. And so even with that, he got a raise that month.
Of course.
And he got a raise. And I remember driving him back. I had picked him up and we were driving and we were talking about it, and he got a raise and he was almost chuckling. Yeah, he got a 15-cent raise. And he did the math and he figured he could get an extra slushy a month because of his he was like, yeah, almost chuckling. But he was so proud of getting the raise because he knew it was about his accomplishments and his commitment, not about the money. And that is so key. And so with everything that you do, when you learn a shift internally on how to love it, for all of you, for instance, that are in a job and your vision is not to be working for somebody, that is awesome. And we encourage that and I'll show you the path. At the Maverick Success Live, it's a small group. Usually we have about 50 people. I don't pack the room with thousands or even hundreds. I make sure that's a small enough room so that we can connect. Bring your toughest questions. Bring your toughest challenges. We actually have tons of Q&A where we get deep into exactly how we can serve you. And with that, we'll teach you the process to love what you're doing, love your job while you're building a pathway to leave it. That's all at the same time. Because the worst thing in the world is to wake up in the morning looking to be motivated because you wanted this new vision in your life to happen, and yet drudgery sets in because you're going to a job.
I
No,
know.
we teach you how to love that and create more in your
Yeah.
world.
Yeah, what's nice too, and I'm one of the power coaches with the Maverick Universe, and we have our groups at 6 o'clock at night on Mondays, right? So it's if you have a 9 to 5, you can still plug into this. Listen, Paul, I encourage everybody in the New Jersey area to come join us February 18th to February 20th. Look, if you think you'd like to come and you think you might qualify for one of those free tickets I have for you, send me a message. Otherwise, just click on the link in the chat. But Paul, what could we expect? What could someone expect, in the 3 days that they'd spend, at Maverick Success Live?
First of all, you want to come for all 3 days. This is a mega conversation that we start Friday morning and it just continues till Sunday night.
And we even have events in the evening and play at a level 9.
No. Play at a level 10.
Sure.
Come and expect to participate fully. This is an event where you will shift, you will change, you will transform internally. And I don't say that lightly. This isn't about, you're going to transform. This is about really understanding what are the pieces that can make a difference in your world so that next week you can start building a whole new adventure and a whole new journey to where you really want to go. Mm-hmm. This event is for entrepreneurs who are already entrepreneurs or on people that want to be entrepreneurs. It doesn't matter what industry. I've worked in multiple dozen different industries, and we've coached dozens more in really helping people move to that next level in any business model. You don't know what business model you want? Come, we will show you some verticals on what makes sense. This isn't a sell-a-thon. It's only me on stage for 3 days. This is real talk, real conversation about how you can do everything that you really want to do. It could be about building passionate relationships as well. Sales, marketing, communication styles. We cover all those components and what it takes for an entrepreneur to be consistent and persistent in building their dream life. I talk at the event about give me 5 years, I'll give you the rest of your life. You're going to learn what it takes to create the life that you really want, and I'll help you launch that right at the event.
That's incredible. And I don't want to overlook the ancillary benefit of, by the way, who's in the room with you is other business owners, other entrepreneurs, other people that are that are working people, that are employees looking to get into this. So it's really everybody. And, you hear the stories of people that are like, I was a staff accountant and now I have a 6-figure business, right? Or people that are like, I was a cubicle worker and now I'm a real estate investor and have an empire. And it's really those things. Sometimes when you look at a landing page to sign up for an event or you think about these things, sometimes we overlook those things that we don't plan for that are just going to have a huge impact. Aaron commented, Maverick Success Live changed my life. Can't wait to go back in New Jersey next month. I'm so glad I didn't force her to stay home for that. So, so she went in Vegas. She's going again in New Jersey. It's the same thing. Why would we go back again? People always tell me, like, why do you keep going the same thing, back to the same thing? And I'm like, listen, no man steps in the same river twice. I get different things. I meet different people. I'm certainly going to be sitting there from a different perspective than I was in Vegas because I've been through it. We've been through a lot since then. And thank you so much for sharing with us. Is there any other, we have the link, by the way, is right there in the comments. You can click on it, reach out to me directly if you have any questions. You can reach out to Paul. He's pretty accessible. But Paul, is there anything you'd like to leave everybody with before we kind of, send them back into the world of the wolves?
Sometimes it's scary to imagine that you could be doing or experiencing a different life than you have. Sometimes the consistent persistence of what you have now is comforting. What I would challenge all of you on is to imagine that there is the life that you've always thought that you wanted but never dared dream of because stuff has hit you, stuff has impacted your journey, if you will. Imagine that we could take all that garbage that we've been hit with, all the stuff that we've been hit with, and put that in a bag and put it to a side and actually build a life that serves you, serves your family, serves your community, that you really enjoy and you're passionate about waking up for every day. I started off in clinical psychology. That's what I got trained in college. Went on and studied sales, marketing, business models in multiple different industries, then got really clear and got into neurolinguistic programming, hypnotherapy, all the different components on how the human brain works.
The good stuff.
And over the last 15 years, and especially the last 10, have been living the life that I was meant to live all along. There's no better feeling. There's no more empowering feeling. There's no better joy than knowing that you're where you're supposed to be.
And it's a choice, and you have decisions to make.
Yeah.
And when you arrive there, it's good, and enjoy the journey. It's, I mean, that's awesome. I just love hanging out with people that are, like yourself, like the people that are going to be at this event. And it's just, you just wish you could grab everybody and shake them and kind of snap them into it, because there's too many people that are just complacent or unhappy, right?
At the event, and it's so interesting. You talk about, who you're going to network with. The people that our community caters to, it's a diverse community from multiple different industries, multiple different verticals, as well as multiple different social economic classes. And we've got people that are just getting started. They've got a job, they have a vision that they want to be an entrepreneur, and they're just stepping into it, to people that are long-standing entrepreneurs making hundreds of thousands, if not hundreds of millions of dollars a year. Our largest client is in excess of $250 million. Give you some idea of the people that end up in this room every time. And the greatest thing about it is that within hours, if not minutes, you're going to feel like you're home and you're with family.
Sure.
And it's something about the Maverick universe, something about the community that we built that creates that feeling. Come hang out, come spend some time. Oh, by the way, Saturday night, we even feed you. So Chris is not only giving you a ticket, but a meal.
Yes.
We even feed you. We hang out. We then have a cash bar. We hang out on Saturday night. So that is amazing. Dare to take the chance. Wherever you are in the country or around the world, we have people flying in all over the place to these events. I've been running these events now for over 10 years. I've done over 250 boot camps all around the world. This is nothing new. And I got to tell you, though, this is going to be very different for you. Dare to check it out. Yep. Chris, it's been a pleasure.
Thanks for coming, Paul. And, it's, I love these things for all my people in New York, all in the Northeast that miss me, that keep asking me to come up and visit. This is why I'm going to be up there for that week. I'm going to be up there for the whole week. And I encourage you guys to come out, check us out. If you want a ticket, let me know. You can click on the link. You can buy one. You can get registered right now. I'd love to see you. If not, come down to Orlando in April. I know what you're thinking. I'd rather be in Orlando in February, but that's not the way it's working. Come to Orlando in April. All right, so we'll be down here too. It's going to be a good time. And thank you all for joining us. Let me know if you have any questions. And until next time, we'll see you. Hopefully, we'll see you in the Maverick universe, not the cyber universe. But either way, we're here for you. Check